would we need to have Experience Cloud in order to implement this help center, or can we just have a Salesforce site to achieve what we need? What is the recommended approach? If we require Experience Cloud for optimal results, how would it work? If Experience Cloud is charged on a user basis, we require no users. Thank you all. So please, someone should raise his or her hand and answer this question if you have an idea. Nothing is wrong, nothing is right, just to make sure we are on the right track, and we've done part of this already. So you see, these are like the basic questions that comes up in this. And I must start by saying I actually appreciate all of you, like especially those that have been attending the class from day one, steadfastly listening. At times might be all confusing, but you're all listening with faith and hope. That is how I also started. And that's how I keep going. It's not like we know everything always, but we keep learning. So please, no one should feel shy. Just attempt this question. I hope I can be heard and my screen is being shared. Come on, guys. Someone is writing, okay. Yes. Muyiwa, please, do you want to unmute and talk about this? We saying that at least the first 2 days of classes that we did that we can't attempt this, at least attempt. So normally the way I like to do my questions is I like to break it down to make it digestible for me. So we're looking to implement a help center and publish our knowledge articles. This help center would have public access and no login access is required. So there are 2 things here, or 3 things. He needs knowledge articles. He needs a help center, and he wants it to be public access. He doesn't know that it means the same thing, which is no login is required. I'm actually already answering questions that people should be answering, but then so do you want me to answer this question for you, or should I move on? Maybe we'll come back to it if someone remembers the answers and come. Because I think I should answer this question. This is so straightforward that someone should answer it.
Obi, please, if you don't mind, answer it for us.
I don't think so. Like it's okay. You that is talking. Try. What do you think? Like, just what do you even think?
I think consideration will be made on the license. Oh Lord, on the license type.
Definitely, that's the first thing. Yes. Yeah. But then, what kind of license are we talking about here?
Community license.
Which one is community license?
Oh, sorry, no. Hold on. I mean, the first kind of license. There is partners. There is
Okay, what class? What happens when a user do not require to log in to use your community? That's the first thing that answers
guest user.
That is it. User. This is a guest user, so no login license is required. Now, what kind of template can he select based on what he's doing, what he needs?
Help text.
Help center. There's a help center template.
Yeah.
That is it too. That is the answer. Now the next question will be, what kind of assets would they have? Even though we know, what kind of assets should we give? It's even there, public access. This is what guest users normally have. If you have public access, then guest users will have it, except you want to give them more access to certain objects or so. So I think that is the answer to this whole question, the template, the profile. So his question would definitely be to tell him that just go ahead and do your implementation. And would we need to have Experience Cloud in order to implement this help center, or can we just have a Salesforce site to achieve what we need? What is the answer to this?
I think we should use the Experience Cloud.
Of course, he needs to roll out a community, which is
experience community, for the offset.
Yes. That is it. Then if we require Experience Cloud for optimal result, how would it work if Experience Cloud is charged on a user basis? What is the answer to this, please? We discussed licensing, the types of licensing, how you pay for it or don't pay for it, whether you can combine it or not combine it.
But he said we require no users, right? So he doesn't want any user on it.
It's not like it's no user. Look at what we require. No, the user should not log in. So they are user, but they're all called something.
Okay. Yeah.
They're called what? They are in a work profile. All the users that will come in would use one profile called guest users. And this guest user is free, though there are some limitations, which I showed that time. If it is if you're using Enterprise Edition, I think it's just 500,000 page views. If you hit that limit, then your site will not work again, unless maybe Salesforce does some extension. Then if you have unlimited org, then you can have up to 1 million page views. So it's just a quick one just to juggle our head, and that's it. So let me close out this. Let's get to lecture of today. So the topic is all this, but I will just move on. There is no time is flying these days so much, and let's see what we can achieve. So today I want us to discuss communities, dashboards, and insights. So we'll find it through the workspace. Dashboards are a collection of geographically displayed reports. It helps track the success of your site. There are some keywords important in this. We'll see it. I think ROI, that's a ton of investments, and I think KPI, important words in this dashboard or what it does. So this dashboard and insights is not the same as when we talk about dashboards and reports in the Salesforce org. Though in communities, users, don't forget there's a particular kind of user with a particular kind of license that would have access to reports and dashboards. So I'm sure when you're doing your revision, you remember all that and you keep that as regards to exam when you are deciding how do you assign licenses. So what we're discussing right now is not about reports and dashboards. This is dashboards and insights. And as I said, found in Workspace, used to track success of your site. Then insights are reports that helps you monitor and act on your community activities. That is members' engagement, the group searches, topics, maybe post, comments, things like that. So the keyword here is activities for insights. Why the keyword here is success tracking. I don't know how to do what that's just tracking success for the dashboards. More like you see picture view of that. Then you set up insights and dashboard by Salesforce Communities Managed Package or Customer Dashboard and Report. Don't forget, I wrote this once in my hands before I started revising and reading. So some things might be a bit stale or not fresh or so, but it's still valid. I try to remove what is not there again after my research. But so far, this is what I wrote down for my notes, which was as early as November last year. So, well, most importantly is this Salesforce Managed Package. So that is what we need to install. So Salesforce Community Managed Package is downloaded from App Exchange. All right, next slide. So community dashboards and insights continuation. So the Salesforce Community Management Packages gives community managers an essential starter set of dashboards and reports to keep tabs on activity and engagement directly in community management or workspace. I marked this red because after I checked, it's like, this is not, I wrote initially that community must use Charter in order to use this package. I don't think it's correct again. So because when I checked to download this app, this management package, there is two now. Let's go to the website. Let's go and check it out now. I think there is two. There is the one we're going to download real quick today. This one, see? Salesforce Community Management Package for sites with Charter. There's also another one without Charter. So obviously, this was what it used to be, just Salesforce Community Management Package. But now they have two types, with Charter and without Charter. Let me just do a quick Google search because I know I should have put that out already. Yes, without Charter, that's what I was looking for. because I opened it today. So just see that my statement is not valid. I will just delete it now so that by the time I will share this documentation, you'll have it fresh. So you see, there's a Salesforce Community Managed package without chatter. And it can also be, it's not available now, but that's just the point I wanted to make. There is with chatter and without chatter in the Salesforce documentation help, which is one important. Mostly, this is what we normally get also. So, and just to quickly show you that, we'll come back to the org, but let's just look at theory, then we'll go to practical. So, mapping of dashboard and insights to different available content can be configured in settings within dashboard on a community. Report types must be created and made available for creating insights. A report folder containing all insights can be mapped in a community. So if we go back now to our org, let's go to administration. And if we want to go to dashboards, there's nothing, there's no mapping yet. If we go to the dashboard itself, you see, this is what we can map. If you have some custom things you want to track, you can also write it. This is dashboard we're supposed to map it to. And you see, it's always advised, experience management package, like download it and use the map. Right now, it's empty. We don't have anything loaded, no dashboard matched. We don't have it. Once you download that, we can now map it according to what we want to track. Then engagement is another one of it, which is insights I was talking about for activity. This is for tracking major activity. And this must be mapped to a folder. If you check now, the only folder I have here is Einstein bot reports. We haven't created any folder again. So back to the theory. So report types must be created and made available for creating insights. So report types must be created for us to create insights. So after only that, we have to work on our back end too to make those things available. A report folder containing all insights can be mapped in a community. And next, community dashboard and insights, continued. So to create a report type for insight reports, create a custom report type. It's called network as the primary object. Then limited chat object will become available, example groups, etc. To create an insight report, consider the following only. So these are actually example questions, that's why I highlighted it. You can only have 2,000 rows can be displayed in a community, and it can only be a tabular report type, and it must be saved. Pagination, I think this is called pagination, whatever. But pagination cannot be included. I think this pagination is more of a coding where you have list views that are not more than, I think, 25 or so, like not having bulk records on the front page that will not allow things to load well. It's more of coding, is Apex. The network ID should not be used to filter the report. So these conditions are actually exam questions as regards to building insight report. 2000, tabular, saving, no pagination, no network ID in the filter. So when you're doing your revision, put that in the perspective. Then there are moderation features. Oh, sorry. So let's head on to our website and see how that goes. Get it now. Oh my God, I think I should have done this before this meeting. I'm actually leave this and let's focus on, because I don't even know. I haven't, to install this thing is one small process that I don't even know. This is, what is the name of my site actually? I know my site is, well, so no need. I've just showed you what happens is that we need to, because I need to get the name of my site, to get the login and password, download that app. But if I had downloaded that app, which every community should have, you go to App Exchange, it will take you there directly. Let me see what happens if I even go from there, if it will allow me. If you go from there, you download, get it now, choose, because this is not the site I'm working on. It's called, one second, let me see if it will show the name, Salesforce setup. It's Semtech Dev, Semtech 2 Dev. So I don't even know my login and password. So that's where I need to choose it. More info, don't see your account, more info, got it. Install, it's not sandbox. So let's leave there, but if I had the name, I would have written it and everything and then installed on this dashboard. Once I install it, then it shows up. Then I can map. I'll go to member engagement, choose member engagement map. No, sorry, not here, on dashboard. When you go to dashboard and you have installed this package, now you can map all your labels to that dashboard comes equipped with all this that we can map in order to allow us to track our community. So what happens again now is if we go now to our back end and go to reports, these are what you need to do. After downloading that app and mapping it, we'll go to reports and go to report type because you need to create a report type. It is there in the statement. Continue, create new report type, select the object. So that is where, what is the name of the object if you want to map object for community? It's an exam question. What's the name? I mentioned it. It's in the write-up. So it's called network. You select network. Networks. That is it. What is the name? Let's just call it moderation. Test. Store. Let's store it in activities, in deployment. Next. So now, if you look, after you've created the primary object, that is when the secondary object can open up, as the thing said. And you see, we can link it to either topic assignment, activity, groups, as I give an example, topics. These are all the things we can link. So these are the things you're able to monitor and track. Don't forget, what we're doing here is trying to create a report type that will allow us to create a report folder that we can use and match to our insights. And insight is used for tracking for tracking activities. And these are all activities, obviously. You're checking what is the group doing, what kind of topics is there, what are our members, the feeds. So this is what we do. So after we created, let's imagine we want to track network and group and save. So this is it. Now we can go to reports. Before we create any report folder, which is what I say we should create, if you check all folders, close. What we have here is Einstein report. You see, don't forget part of the question, you need to match. This is for dashboards. We match our dashboard with what we downloaded. We're just imagining we've downloaded that app from App Exchange. We'll match it here. But then here is for insights. We match folder to insights. So I just created a folder. I'm about to create a folder right now. The only folder this thing can see is one folder that you have here. So my guess, if we create a folder, we have to then match it if it is for group, right? Or match it according to the relationship. So for now, let's see if that works. I didn't try that, but let's see if it works. New folder, call it group network. I guess I'm gonna have to share it also because it might not show. So this is the new folder. And if I'm to create a report and store, if you go to create reports now, we should be able to see the report that we created, which is was it network? No, not network. It's called group. Did I call it? I called it moderation, I guess. So yeah, moderation. So that's the report I created. Moderation. So new moderation reports. But I'm not doing anything because it's empty. So just to show you what happens where we can create it. When we create this, we can actually save it inside group. But let me see something. Let me refresh this. You see, now our group networks is showing. So if I created reports, attach it there, and attach it to group, if I come to this one and I select that, because I have a report inside it, I can map it. And these are all show. But then it's best I can now go to Salesforce documentation. So I don't know if I have the link. I'll paste this link. Today I'll paste so many links. So it's not just what I teach you. Don't forget, you still do. I just trying to help to explain some things based on my knowledge that enabled me to pass the exam. So you can go read further into this. This is how the dashboard should have looked like if you have activities. You see, the dashboard will look like this. This is what we installed. That package comes fully equipped. You will install it and map it. Example, you're looking at activity 1.0, and then you see contribution, post, comments by type, different things. So at the beginning, we had that dashboard. We will have mapped it here, and then with that, when you log in to your home, you will see your dashboard showing here. Right now, we don't have dashboard mapped because we did not install that package. It's a simple thing. Please create your org, follow this link, install that package. Because for me to install this package in this, I need to sign in as if this is my production. I need to go to my settings, so to set my password, get my username there. I don't even know. I log in through Trailhead. I don't know my username or password in that org, but I can do that. But that is not the focus of today. Just to tell you, install the package, map it here, go to engagement, create files, then do one or two activities, and then you see it. So this is what to show you what it's supposed to look like when you log in. You see your activities, you see insights, you see dashboards, and I've been trying to explain dashboard. And look at the keyword for this dashboard, as I was saying, it helps you to monitor your return of investment and key performance indicators, that's KPI. So that's the keyword for this dashboard. I just mentioned tracking and the other one activities, but this is the summary of it. So I'm closing this off and I'm moving forward. I think we have covered that. So that was just the idea I wanted to share as regards to regards to dashboards and insights. And that's it for that. Moving forward is the next section, which is moderation features. So this is used to keep a community. This is a big deal in this today of social media and everything, but Salesforce is, I don't know what this is what we're seeing there, but I'm sure if you go to people like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, it's a big deal. Moderation, how do you track people or moderate whatever they do, ban or freeze or flag? This is all about what is happening here. So this is what we're learning. So just to give you the general idea in order to understand where we're going and don't make it sound or look difficult. That's how I think about things and make it easier for me in my life. So it's just to manage content, moderate content. So it will keep people from using, then you set the rules on how you want it. Even though today's days of freedom of information, they say don't allow people to talk anything they want to talk, but at times it's not good. It's good to set rules for your platform. And this is what Salesforce does on this. So permissions can be granted to users to moderate an entire community through profiles or permission sets. So we can moderate through profiles or permission sets. Group owners can moderate their own groups. Moderators can be internal or external. Insight reports can be used to monitor moderators' activities. We've discussed that. That's part of what Insight does. And if we are creating Insight reports, you will now select what do you want your report to track. So when you're creating that custom report, you'll be thinking, am I creating it for groups or for moderation or for charts, depending on whatever you can do. So look at things that are moderated: user posts, comments, files, messages, and keywords can all be moderated. Sorry, there's something I think I didn't delete. I said I'm supposed to delete. I have to delete this line because I don't think it's correct again. Doesn't matter. So all this can be moderated. Next, moderation rules. So moderation rules are used to automate moderation process. There are out-of-the-box pre-configured rules. They can be modified and must be activated before use. So limit of rules per org is 30. we are now back to certain numbers, which I have seen sometimes in some questions. Funny enough, another truth, when I was preparing for this exam, I checked online, I did a lot of all those Google or certain websites practice questions. When I went to the exam hall, none of them came out, but at least I was happy it helped. It still helped in part of my understanding. Baba Tope said he asked me if I had some questions. I said I don't, because why I said that was that because the questions I practiced on didn't come out. So if I was like depending on that question, I don't know, but I was depending on my understanding of the whole thing, and that is what helped me pass my exam. So when I entered, I saw big questions, not even small questions, like a whole statement or sentences. You need to actually settle in, break them down, and then understand what it's talking about. Most times it's very easy. You just need to understand all this plenty grammar that's speaking here. What do they want? That's what you should be asking yourself. So with that, you answer. So he said he will get some questions, and you know he has connections. I hope he gets questions that will be related to what is happening and then help us to get more insight. But the main focus, as I said, is for you guys to please focus more on understanding, because it will help you moving forward, like understanding the base. And with that, you can always build. You can answer anything or go anywhere. That's just it. So the limit is 30. That's the number of rules you can set. And there are two types of rules. There's content rules and there's rate rules. Moving forward, content rules. So this is a rule defined to blog posts and comments that contains banned keyword. That's why it's content. So it's checking what is the content, the ingredients. So if it contains what is not allowed, it will ban it. Rate rules. So this one defines the content that the rule will apply to. We do not define the action. We define the rate limit. Example, 10 posts in 3 minutes. If exceeded, the number is frozen. So this is like as the word says rate, the rate at which something happens. If it happens so amount of time in so amount of minutes, so if so amount of posts is being made in so amount of minutes, then freeze the person or do something or flag the person. It can be run on private messages and files. They must select a member criteria list. So this is important because at times someone might be spamming you or this thing, somebody account might be hijacked and they'll start spamming the web. So these rate rules help. If someone is posting 10 posts under 1 minute or 2 minutes, then something is wrong. This is not okay because it's only robots can do that. So it's part of how it works. Then you flag until the person confirms how fast they are able to type or whatever. Anyways, moving forward, there is something called member criteria. So used to define the members that a rule is applied to. It can be reused in multiple rules. Your org can have up to 100 member criteria, not per experience cloud site. So you can have up to 100 member criteria in your org. So it means it's unique for your org. So that 100 org that you create, you reshare this criteria, member criteria that you've created. So when you create member criteria is not dependent. So these are some of the things you can actually create on a particular community that can affect all other community. So this is why I'm just interpreting this right now because I've not thought about it, but this is a way to help you. Don't forget, most of the things you create in the settings from Salesforce org affect all community. That is where we'll have the backend setting. But as regards to moderation, certain things like criterias, rules, when you create them, there are limits. And that limit covers for all your org. So it means you can share them from one community to another community. And I hope this makes sense. So these are, of course, in every rule, there's always an exception. So know that the things you can control from our community that controls all other community, not that specific community, is moderation rules and criteria. Just put it that way because it has limits. 100, the other one is 30. So of course, if they have that few, they want you to use it to be able to repeat it. Of course, scalability. So because just imagine they say 100 on each community, so you start creating 100 on each community, it becomes too much. So that 100 you create can be shared among other community, or 30 rules you create can be shared among other community. After all, they will all be somehow related. So members in the criteria can be based on user type. either internal, customer, or partner, or you choose them based on profile. This is an exam question. How do you choose your member criteria? So the first type is by user, which is licensing, and the second type is by profile. Let me stop there. It's as simple as it's written. Members in the criteria are filtered based on one, number of days since the user was created, or members without community contributions. So these are just ways to do that. Next is content criteria, used to define keywords being used in a content rule. Each criteria can define up to 2,000 keywords. Keywords, I think there are questions in that exam that cut it somehow, but this 2,000 is like the way of using to divide or calculate, whereby I think I've seen a question that says each criteria can define up to 2,000 keywords. Okay, I think then they have up to 8 criteria. How many keywords do they have now? So you times it, almost, I mean, they can define 8,000 keywords, something like that. So you have to do some maths, like to define, because you already know these limitations, what a criteria can define, 2,000 keywords. So it means if they have more than one criteria, how many keywords, something like that. Then keywords in criteria is not case sensitive. Your org can have up to 30 rules. This limit is per org, not per Experience Cloud site. This limit includes both content rules and rate rules. All right, then a diagram that I also use from the learning that helped in understanding this and just understanding it. But I like to define it from under. So for the major thing here that leads to all these things is the member criteria. But you need to define rate rules. For you to define rate rules, you must select a member criteria. For you to define content rule, you must select both, any of these or one of these. You must define content criteria and or member criteria. So you see how I want to do this, like actually backwards. So anytime you want to create rate rules, you must define a member criteria. But anytime you want to create content rule, you must define a content criteria and or a member criteria. If you don't define any of them, or in fact, let me put it in simple English, the only condition that you define is what will happen. If you define both, it will check both before it will implement the content rule. If you define one, it will check only that one before you can implement the content rule. Okay, let me take you guys to the org, take a look before we look at the official statement documentation and maybe understand it in their own grammar. This is my own way of teaching it, and I hope it solidifies. Then we'll use the Salesforce language and get it better. So you go to moderation. Don't forget, this is like another shortcut. Normally, you can walk around all this place from workspace, but I'm also contented going through here. So we'll go to moderation, because we're talking about content moderation. So if I had also installed that app, now this will not be showing because that app is a managed package for communities. It also allows us to track the activities, of course, the moderation, who is chatting, who is posting, who is being flagged, how many flags. So it's all what this does, pending discussion. So it's what that app does. It is free. It is Salesforce advice app for all communities. So we'll go to rules. So this is what we've been talking about here. So you see moderation rules. This comes with Spray. These are all Salesforce rules that have already been created. So we can always modify, or we can actually create new rules. Example, let's take a look at one rule that was created. The first one, it says blog post or comment containing banned keywords. This is a content rule. Don't forget this, my drawing. For you to create content rule, you see, you have to define content criteria or member criteria or both. You see, member criteria or content criteria. This is a content rule. Block this. any word containing. So this person decided to only create one, which is content criteria. If you look at this statement, it says, select the types of criteria you want to enforce. This rule, if you select member criteria and content criteria, the rule applies only when both criteria are met. Just the same thing I was trying to explain. The rule can apply to, as it's just specified for this, only this, or both. In this situation, you only specified one rule, which is what it says. But before I think I haven't explained this, we have moderation rules, content criteria, and member criteria. For you to even create a moderation rule, you must first make sure you've created content criteria and member criteria. We'll take a look at the member criteria. You know why I say you must create a content criteria and member criteria? Because for you to create these moderation rules, when you want to create moderation rule, there are two types of rules. It was there in my write-up. If you create new now, instead you're creating a content rule or a rate rule. So do you see where my drawing comes in now? Content rule or rate rule. That is the only, actually this is like a box. These two are like two boxes, are in one box. Moderation rule. If you say you want to create moderation rule, you are creating one of both. Is it a rate rule or is it a content rule? No matter what rule you are creating, it must have one of these, member criteria or content criteria. So do you see where I'm coming from? So for us to create moderation rules, which is either a content rule or a rate rule, we must have a content criteria or a member criteria. Because for us to create a content rule, it has to have one of these. For us to create a rate rule, it must have a member criteria. But content rule must have one of these or both of them. So you see why this drawing was important. To create a moderation rule is either to create a content rule or a rate rule. To create a rate rule, you must assign a member criteria. To create a content rule, you must assign any of these or both of these. As simple as that. Then, okay, let's imagine we want to create, then I think you also have to, let's edit this again. Let's imagine we want to actually use this content rule created by Salesforce. It can't work here because it's not active. You need to activate it. That is another option, another condition. You must activate. So all the rules created by Salesforce for us are not working because they're not activated. So we can activate it. Now, you have to also choose where will this rule apply to. In this situation, it should only apply to posts and comments. Then the next important action, what happens when these conditions are met? Should we block? Should we review? Should we replace? Should we flag? So I think this is actually exam question. Sorry, I don't want to be talking to the exam question and people like this exam questions are too many now. But you know, you don't know where to come from. But it's at least you've seen it, you understand. So whenever you see something, you know, okay, it might be from here, there. So this is example of a content rule by Salesforce that we need to activate. And of course, content rule, you have to select any of these. And don't forget this, if you see, we only have 3 member criteria, 1, 2, 3 available. So we can select one of them. So if we go to member criteria, we only see 3, 1, 2, 3, because that is what Salesforce has created. We can create more. Let's edit what one was created. And don't forget to mention what kind of type can you create member criteria, user or profile. In this situation, he created a user type. It means this criteria should only affect only customer user license people or partner user license people, not internal people. You can only select even 1 or 2 or 3. So that is it. You can select, you can see on tick, you can select 1, you can select all, or as it is before, only these 2. Or you're not using this, you're selecting by profile, you know, targeted people you want them to see. You just select them and push them to selected. You can also choose from where. This is just customer or all. So that's how this works. So then let's look at content criteria too. It only contains banned keywords. We don't have anything else again. If we go to it again, we'll see Salesforce bank keyword. But I think you can always add updates. You can always add new one. You can delete. You can add keywords here. So that is for content rule. So I've explained moderation rules. That means when you want to create, it's either you're creating any of these rules. Oh, let's go deeper to rate rules. We didn't explain that. Oh no, let's look at the one that was already created. Moderation rules. There's a rate rule that is created here. I think it's this freeze. Yes, it's a rate rule. So they say you should freeze a member whose, what is happening here? Okay. Yeah, so freeze members whose posts or comments exceed the allowed rate. So that's what this should do. So this applies to either posts, comments, private messages, and files. As I wrote that. Now you can select what kind of criteria. Remember, I say if you are creating rate rule, you must select the member criteria, which means who will this affect to? And this guy wants it to affect customer and partner. Don't forget, you must activate your rule for it to be for it to work. Then this is the rate limit, the conditions that you can select. So 3 minutes, 15 minutes. Let's see the information. A rate rule can use only one time frame. So what time frame are you going to be checking? 3 minutes or 15 minutes? Notify moderators. Do you want to notify moderators? How many number of times should it? Moderators are notified when a member creates content so number of times in 3 minutes. Sorry, seriously, I really don't know what this blank should do. Is this yes, or will you write the number of times the person it will happen before you notify moderator? I'm not sure, really. But then what action is actually the only thing you can do with this is to freeze the member. So like now, how many times would that thing happen before the member can be frozen? Of course, that's when the 10-3 comes in. So it means the content must be created 10 times in 3 minutes. So you can always change this. Do you want to make it 15 minutes? You can increase their number, or do you want to? So it's only 3 minutes and 5 minutes. So now you have to now check what do you think will not be. But Salesforce thinks if someone makes a post 10 time content post in 3 minutes, then something is wrong. So that's what Salesforce thinks and says. So that's that, and I hope that makes sense. Should we any question, or do you want to look at the Salesforce documentation and then assimilate that more? Anybody with any question on this?
Yes, so is the moderation action for rate rule the same as the one for content rule?
Let's take a look at that. So I don't think so. I think that one is the rate rule is only freeze you can do. So this is a rate rule edit. So this is a rate rule, and the only thing you can do is to freeze.
Freeze members.
Yes, and it applies to this. While content, it's content rule, right? Yeah, content rule. There's action. You can either block, or you can send it to review, or you can replace. Actually, that's a very good question. As I say, I think it's an important question. Or you can replace what that person wrote with something else, or you can flag. So of course, content actions are more than rate rule action.
Okay.
Yeah, even looking at it, rate rules is as the name says, at what rate somebody does something. If it's more than that, then just freeze the person. So that's just simple as what the team does. But then content is more. You're not analyzing somebody's speech or statement or posts or comments. Yeah, posts, comments. Any other question? I hope that answers you, Abe. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So, any other question? Okay, in the absence of none for now, let's look at what Salesforce is saying. What is moderation? I will share this documentation, but this is what it's saying and what is moderation. And let me look at what it can do. I think that's more interesting. So there's no specific user as moderator. I mentioned all this. Create rules and criteria to automatically block, flag, replace keywords. Create rules to review and approve content from specific members, allow members to flag posts, comment files, allow group owners and managers to moderate their groups. Don't forget I said all this can be done in someone's profile or permission sets on moderation too. Then community moderation. So this is the use case where it can apply to the type, criteria, action. So this is just a summary of all we've been discussing here, but broken down better for you to actually understand what you can do, where you can use it. But I believe the short one I also explained kind of summarizes everything, but this is more a deeper way of like explaining the things better. You see, the only action here is even freeze. But for content rule, here you are doing replace, flag, block, or review. You can do this. What do you want to do? Just like a user story. Then where would it apply to? What type of rule would that be? What are the criteria? Don't forget how criteria works. There must be criteria, one member criteria for this. But for content rule, it could be one or two content criteria and or member criteria. So that's it from that my drawing. I know the whole names can be confusing, but it will sink in. So many different sounding alike name. So next is the insights. That package we did not download. That if you have it, it will actually help to monitor and manage. It's like a report. So it can now monitor and see things like a recent contribution, questions being asked, questions without answers, questions with new answers, questions with and without I think answers, then best answers, also new discussions. So this is what, if you have the insights, and don't forget insights used to track our activities. Okay. Community moderation. So this is moderation. So admin, we have that app. When you log in, you also see this comes up. This place I was showing, but the app is not installed yet. So if you go to workspaces, so admin will install the app. You see, it's still asking me to install App Exchange. It just keep telling you that. So so until you install this app, then we'll start seeing activities. We can track it, the insight. So just imagine we had the app, we'll have seen activities and all this there. Of course, we are working on moderation. That's where we'll do all the whole creation rules and everything. We've looked at dashboards. And it says view the health of your community via dashboards to track activity and take action with engagement reports. We've looked at all that. All right. Community moderation. So, of course, this is how the dashboard will look like. And you remember I was telling you about the mapping. So let's look at this dashboard. Use dashboard to view your community analytics, such as metrics and trends on activity. Dashboards give you mid-term to long-term views on adoption and engagement, providing you with a high-level view with the health of your community. Customize and map dashboards in community workspaces, which is what we are supposed to do when we have that dashboard. You customize if you have any custom thing you want to track, and then you map in that workspace. I was showing you where you can do the mapping. All of the reports and dashboards can be customized to meet your needs. As simple as that. Then continue community moderation. Use the moderation dashboard to track community moderators and members flagging activity. Of course, dashboard is you can use it to track the activities or what's happening on your org. So with this dashboard, you can answer how many flags are there, who is flagging content, who is removing flags, how many private messages are being sent. Then engagement, that's insights. Insights are reports that help your community managers monitor activity and take action on that activity. Insights make it easier to manage day-to-day moderation tasks, encourage community engagement, and drive member adoption. You can set up Insight to monitor new members, unanswered questions, newly created groups, trending topics, and even recent charter contributions. So then also, as regards to community moderation, adoption insights, use the adoption insight page to monitor member activity. There's the activity insights, files insights, groups insight, moderation insights, self-service insight, topic insight. These are like the sub-report types you can create when creating your custom reports as regards to insights. All right, so these are I think this is some recommendations I gave. Let me see, and then maybe we can go back and check. These are suggested content that can direct community users to, okay, no, this is a new topic. So I guess looking at what Salesforce documentation I added and what I explained in my own words, there's nothing, I've explained all these. It's just that it's well packaged again by Salesforce, but I think that is what it is. Then next is recommendations. So these are suggested content that can direct community users to certain pages that might be helpful to them. Customized and placed on pages using recommendation carousel components. Available on all community templates. An audience can be assigned to recommendations. Recommendations are put onto a page through channels. Created within content management in Workspace. Must be put in a channel as a first step. Therefore, choose a channel, default or custom channel of up to 5 custom channels, and it must be enabled. Then contextual variables are used to pass information about contextual data, such as current user or current page. Audience can be used to dynamically show recommendations to different group of users. Audience type are either custom list or new member. You can manage audience membership for custom lists through the UI. Add and remove members through the API. The default audience is all community member. This whole recommendation is like a lighter version of CMS, which is static. So I just put that here now. CMS is content management Salesforce. Okay, why did everything go? So where do we do recommendation? I think it's from content management. So this is it under content management. We go to recommendation. So right now we have no recommendation. So we can create this recommendation is to encourage users to actually watch some videos, take training, sign up for events, select a recommendation channel to tie member recommendation together so they appear in the same location on the site. If you select the default channel, recommendation appears in predefined locations in your template. If you select a custom channel, you can specify new location for those recommendations using Experience Builder. So this is where you create recommendation. And let me give an example. Maybe you have employed new people in your company. So this recommendation example, they have like onboarding videos they need to watch. So when they come into your website for the first time, they will see that recommendation to recommend to them they should do this. It's like, do this tray or watch this video, and it will be there showing. Once they click on it and watch it, it will not disappear. It won't show again. So that's why it's dynamic. So you create it from here, new. Meanwhile, before that, you see there's a default channel. And once I use the default channel and create this, or 5, this is an exam question, definitely. There are 5 custom channels you can create, or you can use the default channel. Click on new, you put a name. Let's try test recommendation. If you have an image, you can put that. Let me just play around, put this image. Title, put a title to it, watch me. Put a description, text, button text. What do you want the button text that they will watch to look like? I will say press me. Then HTTP, enter link. I don't know if external link would work. Let me try that. Or if not, normally you can put page. So now, what audience do you want? Right now, the default, as I said, is all sites members are default, and you must enable this for it to work. So right now, all site members are default. You can also preview what we've done and see what it's like. So you see that's what it look like. The person clicks I'm not interested, it will go off. And then save. So because I've not created members, audience for this, which was also on the right top, that's why now it's defaulted to all site members. But if we go to audiences, there are two types of audience we can create: custom list or new members. As I said, mostly this can be targeted to new members. That's why you check what day did they join in the company or whatever it is, and use it and assign them so that this recommendation will only be available to new members, because that is the audience you assign. So this audience, again, be careful, is different from that audience we explained yesterday, which is the general Salesforce community audience that we'll use to assign for our pages, branding set, and our components. This is audience for recommendation. So you see why the whole Experience Cloud can be dicey at times. There are so many nuances that you just need to understand. So this audience we are talking about now is for recommendation. So there's recommendation audience, and it's definitely different from the audience for pages, page variation, audience for branding sets, and audience for like components. Those ones are one audience. Why this is any of two? This is definitely an example question. Is two: custom list or new members. New members, of course, you put by the day they join the company. Why custom list? I think you have to send this through API, or you might have like a list of people you want. If I select this now, it means I have to like now put a name. They say it's through API, so that's how you can do this. So I'm not selecting any audience. I'm using default audience. I've already saved the recommendation, which of course now will be a default. Then the next thing you do is you go to your builder. Let me go to my builder, refresh this. And then you have to select the recommendation carousel. That could also be an exam question. What kind of components would you need to put on this for recommendations? So it's called carousel. So recommendation carousel. So you can take that and I drop it here. So I'm using the default channel because I didn't create any channels. You must select a channel. So this channel is just a medium, like what custom channels you want to create, because you could have different recommendations and you put them in different channels. So I can also put a title to it, and let's just call it recommendation. And that's it. Let me preview this. So you see what we created is there. So if you click on press me, okay, this will not work because we are not back to builder. Let me publish this to, and I won't test if that thing works. Then I'll go to here to view my site. Sorry, that's a shortcut too. I forgot to show you that if you want to view your site while you're working, you click on this first one. It takes you to view your site to see what you're doing. So you see, so this person logs in, press me, I press it. It takes me to google.com. So this works. So, and once I do that, you see it's only showing one because it means that's the only thing happening. I think I remember they say if I come back, it's not supposed to show again. Now it's gone. You see, I refreshed, it's gone because I've clicked it, I've watched it. So that is how it is dynamic. Had even I have one or two, that dot would have been 2, 3. One time you keep watching it, will be reducing. So it's only one dot, which when I clicked it, it took me to the place I set it for. And now when I refresh, when I come in again, I won't see it again because it has done the job. It is a recommendation. Recommended for me. I have gone to the Google. I don't need it again. I will have also clicked I'm not interested. It will have disappeared. So that is what that does. Okay, and I was explaining all that in all this write-up behind here, this first write-up, this second one, and most importantly, default or custom channel. So you will select that. So moving on, this is official Salesforce language on that. So you will create it to drive engagement for your Experience Cloud site. to encourage users to watch videos, take trainings, and more. You see how it can be created. The same thing I did. We went through this creation. We created one. You select a channel. A channel is a way to group recommendations together so you can determine where they show up in the site. So you see, this channel is to help you select where they can show up in the site. And note that the URL can contain context variables to pass information about the user who clicked the recommendation and context in which it was clicked. I will show you that in a bit. So this is an example of the carousel which I dropped on the builder. And this is the audience. So create audience of new members or use the API to manage customized lists. So as I mentioned, custom list is managed by API. Important note, you can't manage audience membership for custom lists through the UI, add and remove members through the API. Okay. All right. So speaking about that, I think I have where is that? I have something I opened. I can close this. Yes. So this is what I mean by contextual variable. When you select channel, let me copy this too, paste for you guys. Get a chance, read this documentation. So you see, this discusses customized recommendations in Experience Cloud sites. So this is what it means by that contextual variable. So whenever someone is using it, you can pick up the action link ID, group ID, community ID, or org ID, or user ID. All right. Okay, so next is files. So users see files they own, shared with them directly, shared to an Experience Cloud site that I'm a member of, shared to a group they can access based on access to a library, posted to a record they have access to, and when visibility on that file is set to allow them to access it. So this is how users on Experience Cloud can see files by this, if they own it, or if it is shared with them, or if access is given to them, which is almost about the same thing. So if we quickly go back to our org, did I add this? I can go to this guy, go to my panel, create a new menu, and let's call it files. Events, site page, I think it's a site, no, it's a navigation topic. Oh no. The navigation topic is different. Is that a Salesforce object? Is there files? A, B, C, D, E, F. C, D, E, F. There's no files here. So site page, files. Yeah. So there's file. Let's take the list and save. Let me go to preview. So if we click on files. So because this is me, I have more access. If I was signed in by a user that was created, the person, so I will see files owned by me, or files shared with me, or recent files you looked at, or people you are flowing, or library. So this is the one that's also important. So right now in library, you give access to file based on the folder in the library. So the only folder in this library is assets library. Let me go back to Salesforce home and check out something. Quickly, let's check out files. So you see on the library, this is the only thing we have here. That's why I'm seeing that. And I am the user here. So these are the files you can have access to. But if I was also a normal user with any of those licenses, you see what I'm seeing in backend is what I'm seeing here, because of course I'm an internal user, I'm like the pilot. So I have, and even an admin, I'm definitely the pilot. But in fact, I'm even the aircraft maker with an admin. So I can see all this, but imagine it was like a partner or a community user license. Of course, if they have any files they uploaded or they shared or is related to any of the tasks they were doing, either in a case or something, they would see the file. Then if you share file with them, it will appear here. If you share a library with them, they will also appear here for them to see. This asset library. In fact, let me even quickly try something. I think we created a contact, but no, it won't work because we haven't added a member to our community. I shall ask you guys that as a question. Yeah, I wanted to log in as somebody, but of course it will not work because we have not added anybody as members of our community. So back to Builder, publish this again. While you're publishing, okay, we'll go quickly to administration, go to members. I'm the only person in this place. We need to add some customer members. I'm not sure of what license we give, so I'll just put these ones to be on the safe side. And then we'll go to partner, put partner and gold. I'm not sure what we'll give, but this should work it. Click on save. Okay. Then we'll come back here, go to contact. Let's say test partner. Let's log in as, oh God, no. Let's log into our Experience Cloud as this guy. Okay, log into Experience as user, select, I want to the customer. So now we are logged in as test partner. You see, you can see all this. If he goes to his files, he won't see library asset because that is like a different level of file. If we go to library, you see, it's empty. He doesn't own any file, nothing is shared with him yet. You won't see library. He doesn't have access to that. So let me log out again. Then if we go back to the back end, oh God, how did I log out like that? That means I hope I won't be in trouble. I'm in trouble. No, not too much trouble. As I said, I don't even know the name. So I need to log in through Trailhead. That's where I go about it because I haven't taken out the, so this one, launch. So that's it. So we'll go back to this guy. Contact, no files. Go to library, create a new library. Test partner library. You describe if you have a picture to upload, let's upload this picture there. Then we'll save. So now we have a new library. Files. But guess what? This library is still not visible to that guy until you go here and manage members. So only myself can see this. So now I want to add, so you can add members by two ways, public groups or people. And as admins, I'm sure you know how to create public groups. You go to the backend, go to public groups and create groups and then add members. When you create the group, you can add easy by subordinate, by roles, by partners, by users, whatever. People is user, so I have user already. And we are talking about test partner. I want to give the person only viewer access because it's a community user. I don't want him to have administrator or author. So just a viewer license and I'll add this person there. So what happens now is this guy now, if I go to Where are you, mate? Okay, contact. Someone wants to ask a question? Contact and go to test partner and log in back to our community as this user and go to files. Now, if you check share with, oh, it's not showing up. Let me see library. Yeah, the person can see the file shared with the person. I've just added this test partner library. It's actually empty, so that's why it's like that. It's empty. There's nothing inside it, but this folder now has come up. You can see there was nothing there before. Share with, I think, is a different place whereby if it is related to an account or a case the person is related with, you still go to that file and share with that person. That's when this one shows up. So these are the ways. I'm just giving an example on how people can have access to files. It's quite restrictive. It's very private. But if you share it or the person puts it, and then or you assign access, that's when the person could have access to that file shared. Again, I think now that I have entered here again, I might. Okay, it's still logged in as me. I hope I will remain logged in as myself. Says for setup. Okay, still logged in as me, so that's okay. All right, so back to the slides. This is on files. Then there's something called reputation level. There's so much language I put here, but it explains everything. A lot of it is very important. It's for the exam too, so it's a fun way to, of course, engage your community. It's like for gamifying the whole community. You enable, set up, display reputation levels in preferences. After you enable reputation, a default point system and set of reputation levels is available. When reputation is enabled, 10 default levels are added. I think this is definitely an exam question. How many default levels are added when you enable it? You can add or remove levels, give each level a name, update the points range and image for each level. Points, name, and image can be defined and customized for reputation level. I think this is also, this I'm talking exam question is like part of some of the small questions I saw during my practice. But in the real exam, all those small questions didn't come in, but it's just still a way of knowing the whole parts of this whole thing. Reputation points and levels are also shown on user's profile. A leaderboard component can be added to the page on Experience Builder. Assign manage community permission to provide permission set to users who manage reputation. So also, for if you want to assign someone else to manage your reputation, like a delegated admin, you need to assign that from profile or permission set. You can also define reputation actions. So certain actions can be rewarded with points. So if you do this, you can get points, things like that, because you can define actions. A default point system is set for different actions and points can be changed. Set points to 0 to exclude an action for reputation level calculation. This is also an important question whereby for you to exclude and for you to exclude a level, just put 0 there and that's it. Sorry, one second. All right. Actually, I'm better today. I was worse yesterday, but I think I'm feeling better today. So after setting this point, we can set our repetition levels and define the point level. Do I have another note on this? Okay, so let's go to the front end. Should I say the back end? Definitely this guy is still logged in as, you see, this guy doesn't have access to this back because it's logged, it's not me. You need to log out and log in again. Oh, let me see experience. Oh, this is me. So what's the force? Experience workspace. Yes. So I go to administration, go to, you see, for here now you're looking, reputation is not loaded here yet. It's gonna come. Now, when we go to preferences, we need to activate something here. I think it's enable. You can enable allow members to vote and downvote, allow members to flag content. Yes, enable setup and display of reputation levels. You can also include enable knowledgeable people on topics. This is if you have like specialized people like some architects or designers trying to answer questions. Exclude contributions to records when counting points towards reputation levels. I don't think I want to do that. So these people get points even by contribution, and we can save it. You see, now reputation level comes in, reputation points now kicks off. It has come in because we've enabled it from here. So you see, once you do that, it has automatic 10 that it sets. This is where we can set up our reputation levels. You can call it the names you want. Maybe level 1 can be novice, or I have something I did there in the know. So I must have done it for experts. Do I have anything against them? I have 3 levels. The rest I don't want. Put it so remember, if you don't want something, you call it 0. So they won't be used, it will be excluded. So I only want 3 levels. And then I want the first point to give is 100. The next point will be 500. Then the next will be 1000. So you can also define this. So you see how it works, and I can save it. I don't want to do that. I'm just showing you how it works, how you can promote activity in your site by setting up reputation levels. User can move up level by accumulating points. So this is the points you accumulate at each level. Next is reputation points. So this is the standard that comes when you have Salesforce. But because I have put such amounts, 1,500 and 100, these points are very small. I might have to change them, increase it because how long will it take for someone to get maybe 100 points or so? So you might increase it depending on how you want your community to look. So this is actually a look on how Trailhead works too, to an extent. Like this is actually for reputation. Trailhead own is more like gamification where you will get star, you get pictures on it and so. But this is where we can now see how many points that are assigned based on what action you do. If you write a post, you get this point. If you write a comment, you get this point. So this is what it does. If the market answer is the best answer that's happening on Trailhead, you get these points, things like that. And this will be helping to make who you are some of the best answer, make the community more interesting, more collaborative, more engaging. And if we go to gamification, is not enabled. To enable it, to click here. This is the one that's more definitely like Trailhead, where you, I think, counter, or is it done at the back end? Use organization budgets and mission. Important to turn to organization budget level. Okay, in setup. I have to do this in setup. Why are you taking me here? Okay, just for you to see what's up there. I didn't do that. So this is enabled on this feature. Restrict who can create experience workspace, turn on organization budget, ready gamification type, finish setting. But I have to enable this first. Under tanks, select the basic setting. Okay. So you see, we're all doing this together. So there's something called WDC setting. Is it not here? What is this saying? In classic. So I need to switch. Here, right? Switch to classic. And it's the quick one. I don't like classic, but let me see if it's here. I don't think it's here. Quick search is I think setup. Yeah, WDC. Okay, go to WDC settings. You have to enable tank setting. You can also enable skill, but we didn't say anything about skill, so we enable it there. Under restrict custom batch creator, select enable and save. So this is where you enable that. So where is the restrict? Yeah, so here we enable and save. So I guess that's it. If I now come back here, let me close this, refresh this. I hope I can now do this now. So gamification is enabled. So guys, you see, I haven't really done this or used it because I don't use it in my community, but it's just part of what you should know, that there's no fear. You can look, everything is online, follow some steps, do what you need to do, and that's it. You'll be fine. So you start with recognition badges. You just like trade. These are the badges that will be assigned to you based on what you are doing, how you are rising. You can also get a new badge or some picture, create a new one, and add if you have your own custom one. Put the name, put description, put the photo. Is it public and is it active? So these are the missions. I have no mission. Create a new mission, mission name. So is it a ranger? Is it this or that? Just like Trailhead. This is so the summary again is all about interaction, engagement, and yeah, engagement is just the keyword for your site if you want people to be interactive there. All right, so that's for reputation level. Charter questions. Wait, I think there's one more thing. Leaderboard component. So when all these are all enabled, we will have to go again to our, let me close off this, go to our builder and add leaderboard component so that you can use it and be tracking people's movements and on the charts, like who is leading, who is on top, what is happening here. So go to components, type leaderboard, repetition leaderboard, drag it, drop it up here. So that's it. So leaderboard, number of users, it can show at a time. I put 5. You can see, I don't know how many is maximum, but let's 5 stay for now. Do you want to show user rank? You want to show the user is logged in? No. You want to show help bubble? You want to exclude internal users? So you can, so I think this is actually exam questions. What things you can do for leaderboard? So if you want to exclude internal users to see people that are on top, if you want to do that, you click here. Help button text. So what is this? It's on help button. When you go and check on it, when you go take it close to the help button, this is what it should bring out. So display users levels and points, or topic knowledge and points, or topic knowledge and last active. So let's leave it at levels and points. And topic knowledge level. So I talk about knows about. So this is what this is for. If you preview, this is how you see it when you log into your website. Our website is too, because of the color we chose, is too light and bright. The background is too white, and the color of our letters is too blank somehow. So let's change that a little. Come on, builders, what do? We go to themes, we go to color. That's where we can start changing this. So you see our link color, or should I say text color is this. I want it to be darker. Did it change? It's changed a little. Detail text, I also want it to be darker. Then link color should be okay. Overlay color. Okay, overlay color can be white. Then page background color is what I think. Let's leave this way. Further page background color is okay. So navigation. Anyway, let me not waste time on this. As I said, I'm not a good builder. I'm just showing what we have in here. Back to builder, publish. Don't forget, publish is like saving work done, or you can actually go back You can go back, or you can view it as mobile view, tablet view, desktop view. So if someone is using their phone, how would this website look like? Do you want to hide some component? Do you want to show some components? So this is how it will look like. If someone is using a tablet, this is how it's going to look like. You can also hide some components or show all the components. But we are using computer, so desktop. So let's leave it as it is on desktop. This is just by the way, I'm just veering around, showing you things that maybe we haven't talked about, and we might not have a chance to talk about that, though it's not like the important part of it. So this is all about repetition levels. Charter question I was going to talk about. So this is available on all communities and on all templates and standard self-service communities. Question action is automatically added to new orgs as part of the global publisher layout. Question to case can be set up. Users can choose a best answer following the question. Previously searched questions can be searched and tracked. There are some considerations though. So questions can be asked and topics can be added. Search this field is used to search for questions. Similar questions and articles are displayed when asking a question. And it's only available for tabs plus Visual Force and customer service template communities. Best answer can be selected by the question owner or moderator. This is an exam question. Who can select best answer in a question? So it's the question owner or the moderator of the website. These are the only two people that can select the best answer. And your best answer status can also be removed at any time they want. So charter questions can be tracked in dashboards and insights. You see why we started with dashboard and insights. So part of what you can track there is charter question. Question to case can be set off manually or automatically. I have a link that I also copied here. Not sure. I'm pasting that for you guys again. I'm not sure why I haven't copied that. I will open it real quick to see what it even says. Control V. So come on. So it's question to case. So you can take a look at to it and see how it actually works. As regards to in the org itself, when you have that enabled or added question to case. If I go to page, let me see, is there anything on question as a page, question detail? So have question pages. To go to component, do you have any question components? So have an answered question component. And most importantly, I think we'll get here when we talk about components. We discussed component yesterday, but an important part of this whole component is this service component, support component. So you have the ask button, so we can only put that where you have the ask button, case deflection, channel menu, contact request button. This is what I was explaining. Contact support and ask button, contact support button, contact support form, or create case form. So all these are things to help, mostly used for customer support templates or your help templates, which are like the most popular templates being used because that is what most people use Community Cloud or Experience Cloud to do, is to service their customers for customer support, help support and the rest. So these support items are very important. Don't forget you can have so many custom support components to other components that you can either download from App Exchange or buy, or you can have if you have a good development team, they can also build for you based on what you want to do. I've seen different types of components that can be built and added here. So charter group. So this can be public, private, unlisted, archived, can be activated by adding group to the navigation item. Group item can be made public to allow guest users access active public groups. Private group requires user login. So these are all important points. Of course, private group will definitely require user login because you cannot be added to a private group if you're a guest user. Then if you make a group public, then it becomes public. Everybody that has access to the site will have access to it. Then quickly, let's go to our navigation menu. We can add menu. and add group to it. Group. Is that an object? I doubt. It should be a site page called, yeah. So there's group list, group detail. Let me put group detail, call it group. And before I do that, let me quickly check even object. I doubt there's a group. There's no group object now. You see the oh, there is group. Okay, I'm thinking it might be group. So my group. So I think it's best to use object and save. So now this comes up here. So if we go to preview, and now go to group. You see, you can see my groups. You can create new group, put a name, then put access type and what type it is, public or private. Then you show that you allow customer or not. Then broadcast only. So these are the sorry, conditions. Then if you want to add people, you can add people on the group. Back to builder, publish this. Then, so that's it about group. So people can be created and added to any of this group. I'm sure you know about unlisted group. It means the group is like over private. People don't know about it except you are in there or a member. Private means you are being invited, but this one is not even listed, but it's there, existing. Archive means it's no longer active. It's just group is closed and archived. Quickly, let's pass through multilingual community. Actually, this was for the second lecture, but I kind of pulled it to this place because I knew there won't be time to complete it. So this is for language, which I think we mentioned, where you can choose from experience builder, the default language, of course, which is select the language, you must select the default language. Salesforce supports about 18 languages. Sorry, 1 second. I have noises, so I have to ask them to stop. If I just wants to come down here. Oh, so the community will show the language based on the user profile. We kind of mentioned this last time, but we're just rehashing it. So of course, I think I'll mention it somewhere. If you select multi-language in your community, it means it only actually affect your guest users, because any other user in your community that has a license would have a profile. And whatever language is in their profile is what they would use in their user profile. So it means whether it's a community user, a community plus user, or a partner user, they have their language. So they don't need, this doesn't matter. So this matters for guest users. Configuration, translation in feeds. So configuration is in Experience Builder, configuration using Google Cloud, translation API, questions, answers, posts, comments, and replies can be translated. Upon configuration, the API key, a translatable Google menu will become available in the feed items. So this is how the translation also works. It's also a big deal for Salesforce, but not everything. When you translate, that's what I'm saying, not everything like kind of things that can be translated. You can use actually Google Cloud to translate with API, and you can translate questions, answer, posts, comments, and replies. These are the things that can be translated. So not everything can be translated. But if you configure it after configuration, using configure translate with Google, the menu will become available in the feed items. Then you have language selector component. Whenever you select languages, you have to also add this language selector component so that when people come in, they can now select their language of choice from the website. That's why when you go to some websites, we go into those websites and we are guest users. When we land there, we are guest users because it's free for us. We can now even select, is it country flag up or select language that we want. This is all defined. So Salesforce has something called a standard component called language selector that whenever we have built. Do I have? Let me go to them. Whenever we okay, where is language? Language should be in builder, right? Language is in builder. Setting, yeah, language. So right now I'm using default language English. But if I add more languages, select language. I'm just joking. Just not that I'm just joking. Put Arabic. No, put this Arabic. Put English UK. And where's my other language? I'll put this language, Russian.
Obi, is this not more than 18? You mentioned 18. These languages.
Well, that is what I had in my. I think that is. No, of course, there are many languages now. But how many can it support? You understand, Ba? Yeah, sorry, I'm speaking. So let's even try. But of course, there are so many languages, but it cannot support more than 18 at a time. That is what I have.
Okay.
Yeah. So it will show you all the languages, but you can only select 18 at a time. When it's more than 18, what are you doing? So I think that is what it means, but it's left for testing. Or we can actually Google that or check it out. But if that is on my notes, that is what I have. And as I said, this is as of November. I did this course. It mustn't have changed. But I'm now interested to check it out and see if our mighty Google quick search will tell you something. Supported languages. How many languages does Salesforce support? Salesforce CPQ support English, Spanish. This is not telling me how many. What language does it use? So I don't know why that number is there, but it's just what is there. But it's a good question, and we can check. But definitely that we put all the language in the world, which we know is more than 18. I don't think you should you come and select all the language in the world for a website. It doesn't make sense. So maybe I think that's what it meant. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not even about to start doing that. So let's imagine we'll select this. When you study, you must select a default language. That is what it says. Then you can save. There's no saving. So when you add them, that's it. So, but when you have translation, that's why I've copied that right up. There's rules on best practices on translations, importing, exporting, and then using Google Cloud Translation API key. So you can also translate with Google. But after you have selected different languages that you want, the next thing you need to do is to come to our front end, go to components, and also add language selector. So, of course, you need to add this, where when people come in to your website, they can select what language they will use. So if we preview, you see, so imagine our website is like in English. When they come, they check. For example, select Russian, what happens? Because I'm not using any of our language translators, it's not going to translate everything. Some things will not be translated because that's a different process itself. Because Salesforce website is not built in one. There's a lot of combination. There are pages, there are components, there are different things. So you see, some things are translated or some things are not. So boys, this is search boys. My channel needs like the home page, but this one is not translated. So okay, translated this, my group, and search. So these are just searching for things like that. So we can change that back to what we know better, which is you. And back. I won't publish this because just to show you how language can be added. And then you need to add the selector. Now people, when they come in, they can select the language. But there are more to it. To translate other components, you need to have your translator. I think even Workbench, there should be, let's go back to the slide. And a fallback language can be selected for the content that has no available translated version to be in the chosen language. Language can be deactivated or deleted, but the translated content will be kept and become available once language is re-added. So configuration, translation in feeds, language selector components. So I think by the time you read these best practices which I wrote, it says a lot of things on that too. And next is translation. Oh, see on translation. So I still put that again. Translation function supports. Okay, of course, this is says it that function. So that translation function supports 18 languages. Some contents can be translated automatically. A language title appears atop the page. Some component can be translated manually in the property editor for customization. Translation service can be used by using the export and import function. So that export and import function is for translation service. Then most importantly is this translation workbench. So this is where we can translate some component, not all. So like navigation item. If you notice that navigation item was not translated, only the first native home was translated. So we can translate the navigation item using translation workbench. So I think this is even an exam question, what can be used to translate some component to translation workbench, translate feature topics, repetition levels. You can use language picker tool to translate each page in different language for Google Cloud Translation API to translate feed items, example, questions, answers, posts, and comments. So using this Google Cloud Translation API, which was on that translation, which was on that language builder, you can translate questions, answers, posts, and comments. While using Workbench, you can translate some components. Translation Workbench needs to be enabled in translation language setting in setup. Let's check that out. Interesting. These things I just knew them for exam, never used them. Some I have forgotten, but since we are talking about it, just quickly check out where is Salesforce setup. Back to our almighty Lightning setup. What did they call it again? Translation language setting. So there's something called translation language setting. That's where you set up Workbench. So you can actually export, import, translate. So it's not even enabled yet. So if I enable it here, you have to read. Oh, sorry, I normally like to read those things, but it actually explains everything. So now it's enabled. So now we can start adding supported languages. Choose the language you wish to add. Add translators for this language to the selected list box. So guys, you don't forget you need to have download sandbox and work around this thing. It helps you to understand some things, not just by the reading or cramming or understanding, but when you play around, you understand it better. So that is it. You see me now looking at this too. Not like I've used it or need it, but when the need comes, we can always use it or get it done. So next page is Salesforce CMS. So I put this first. The next is, did I write anything on this? I didn't write anything on this because it's not a very strong force that I've used more, but I put documentation and then we'll go over it. So Salesforce CMS, this is how to enable Salesforce CMS. Salesforce CMS is included in limited capacity for all Salesforce orgs. A paid upgrade is enabled to remove these limits. So of course, this limit is not free until you pay. So create content workspaces and create content. Salesforce CMS provides the news content types, which is flexible enough to create many different types of content. However, if you need more specific types of content, such as blogs, events, or product layouts, you can create custom content types using metadata API. So for me, this is where it's important. This is where we'll show quickly on our org is what we have. So to create Salesforce CMS content type, don't forget I mentioned reputation is just like a mini. CMS is more like recommendation is more of a mini CMS where because that one I gave content for people to use, but that disappears. It's dynamic. It's not a big, just something small. This is more of a bigger deal where you present content for users. Either the content is from a shared content or from your CRM or from a connected services. So that's what it is. So shared content is content that was created in the Salesforce CMS app and shared to the community you are working in. Or Salesforce CRM gives you access to your Salesforce object instance for showing records in rows, columns, present CRM in a different style. So this just presents your CRM in a different style. Or connect, let you reuse HTML, JSON feeds such as blog posts, comment headers, or images from an external CMS source, removing the need to copy them into your community. This is the one that is mostly used in this CMS Connect for companies that actually have a content website or app that they have. So instead of copying, they just link their Salesforce to that. So it just maps straight to Salesforce. And I think we'll take a look at that. So share CMS content in community. You have this document, you can read it more. The next is how to go about it. It's also something I read. So you use, I don't think I want to read this. Let's just go straight on the show. I think I should remember it on the, so if we go to content management, is that, let's go to workspace again. Workspaces. Of course, it should be content management. Go to content management. You see, we've done recommendations, we've done topics. Now we're on content. So you see that there's this shared content. There's nothing here. We don't have a digital experience app or Salesforce CRM, which we have. But if we click add CRM connection, that is where we need to add connection. Like, let me add knowledge. Since we have knowledge connection, we have knowledge that we created. You can also add account and save. Now we have collection. We have added CRM that I want to use. So we'll go to collections now. Now we can create collection. We can create that collection now because, so you see CMS content or Salesforce CRM. This CMS content is that third one I mentioned that is mostly for creating a collection from content, creating and managing your content management, content workspace. For people that have content management, or let me call it test content. If I click this, I don't think it will because I don't have any. No, I won't select that yet. Let me go back and use CRM. Next. Start creating, select, so for knowledge. So you see, we've published some articles before. I've now added these articles that into my content collection. If I go back to content, if I wanted to create CMS Connect, which is by setting up connection by external destination. If I add it, you see, let me show you the sources. This is an exam question from AEM, from Drupal, from WordPress, or from SDL, from Sitecore, or other. So the example, which one could it come from? This is where you can link up. And that's where you have the add CSS, add scripts, add JSON. So that's that. And that's not where it ends. Now that I've done, I didn't do this. I did Salesforce CRM because we have it. I selected accounts and knowledge. You can select any more. And I assigned a collection of items we need called test content. And I assigned it knowledge things into it. So that's not the end of it. Now, if we want to make things work well, we still need to go to the builder as usual. So this is a go front, go back, come to the front, come to the back. We'll go to the builder, go to components. I think look for, see, there's a lot of CMS components. What did I just do now? So I can select CMS collection. Let's drop this under here. Add collection. So now I have to show this now. This is what I want to show. You can also personalize it. So this is where our personalization comes in now, whereby we can choose assigned. We can assign this thing to it. We can assign this to which audience. We don't forget yesterday we created sales audience, but we're not doing that. So if you want, so the point is you can also assign audience to that, to this component. And close, let me preview it. So now we can click on this and see, of course, it's taking us to the article. So That is how it actually makes things nice when you come to your website. Go to preview, go to home. You see, if you had content, you can see it well. Back to builder. Let me take off this that is not correct, first of all, that's not working well. So that is how you present your CMS content to your users. But let's quickly finish up. So all this is telling me how to go about it, which I didn't bother to read. It doesn't make any sense, but just for your own use in case you do it yourself. Then the benefits. When logging in case, documents could appear in the case deflection flow to help deflect cases. Categorize documents using topics, just like you do questions and help articles. Use promoted search terms to ensure key documents appear at the top of search results. Work with an experienced cloud license. Community users can vote and vote. I actually take this. So limitations. With this approach, users require a knowledge license to author articles. So that's part of the point. If you're selecting a oh God, hold on a second. My daughter is running down. Guys, sorry, please. I think we're almost done. She's just screaming for me. I don't know what's happening. It's not. It's crazy. Okay, so this is what this says as regards to what we can do with it. Definitely, as I mentioned, it's having access to the object means, example, for knowledge license, knowledge object, you have to have license to use it. Then CMS Connect, this is when you are connecting to the external data. So you see, this is the original site. This is Salesforce. So this is what it wants. It will map header, the content, and then our community content, then the footer. Don't forget, I was kind of almost showing that in his CMS Connect. When you go to add connection, you see how to map it. You put name, create source, public, you put the server, put the root part, then that's how it works. You have to then map. And then are you going to use which script, CSS, script, or JSON? So, of course, you work with your IT or with your web manager to do this mapping. Then next is still on CMS Connect. Before you get started with CMS Connect, check out the getting started info located here. This is, I don't have this link, so I've copied it and put anyway. So just your server must support HTML. Your connection must be served with HTTPS. So CSS. So this is just doing. I'm giving you the general explanation as regards to what CMS does and how to do the connection. Then this is part of. You'll be able to configure your connection from this UI in Community Workspace. Then I also showed you this. Next, we'll set up a connection to our existing site by clicking new button. This site will be a source for the content and CMS will connect to it. So this is them trying to connect the website. Of course, the source is AEM and we must have root path, server URL, and all this. Then now that we have our connection, let's jump over to the builder and look at the CMS Connect menu from the settings UI. So this is after connecting. Of course, it will bring up the design for them, what they are trying to do. So this is something that is showing from a different place altogether, this whole thing you're seeing. And they are using HTML and JSON, but I only simply use CMS collection that we have. So I didn't use JSON or HTML. Search, a quick one on search. So users can also search all these accounts, cases, contacts, dashboard, files, leads. So you can search all that. I also have a help document on that. Let me copy, paste quickly to the website. If we go to our builder, preview, Oh no, let's go to back to builder. This is search. So this is like a global search. So if you see, this actually shows what users can search. There's autocomplete. So here, a user can only search articles, discussions, case, groups. You can actually add more things you want them to search. This one is coming up with account brand. You click on it and change what you want them to search. Content. Is it publicly available? Save. I want contacts. So these are the things you want users to be able to search. Let me leave the account brand as it is, and contacts save. So you see now I've added three things: content, account brand, and contacts. So now if we go to page, there's definitely a search page. Don't forget, page is the building block of where we'll add all these components and things. If we go to this page, because I haven't published and things, so this is what, when you search, these are things that will come up. Preview, or let me go back to search here. Check this is added, publish, got it, refresh this. Check out our page again, search page. So, well, it's not showing much. I guess let me check preview. It's not important though. Let me see. So if we go to search here, you can search contacts. I wouldn't put name here. So that's why you see now contact name is coming because I put it. So that is what that does now, because I allow that to do. I don't think I put account. So the thing you put is what they can search, and that's it. So look, let me type enter and see what happens. For some reason, I don't know why they added this and is not showing here. It's supposed to show. Anyways, I'm sure that's it for today. And quickly before we go, it's more than time, but I want us to review this. This is what I think before. I haven't touched this since. I think we've done all this. Modify an experience with the experience builder. We've done that. Explain capabilities of search, which I'm trying to actually do now. That's how search works. Implement Salesforce CMS content into an experience. We did that. Given a scenario, make articles visible or accessible in an experience. We've done that too. So this is as good as done too. So given a scenario, select the appropriate theme for an experience. We even did that today, just asking, well, this is for team. So select what kind of theme, which is color, branding set, and all that. So describe option for single sign-on. We did that. The options, LinkedIn, Google, all of them. Apply the steps to set up experience dashboard and insights. We did that today. Analyze and apply experience moderation features. We did that today. Given a scenario, employ fundamental best practices for adoption and engagement. I just copied and sent you the best practices. We also mentioned all that. After all, this is just 5%, so it will just be 2 or 1 question. So this is major bulk of the question. Most of the things we'll be discussing, I think I opened a page. I don't know, but most of the things we're discussing are bordered somehow around this. I never went into this deep, but quickly let me check the website. I think I have it open. I have a blog post on this. It might not even be that. It's somehow not related. I can't remember the question, but I copied it. So I want you to please take time. So that's the only thing I think that I might not have discussed directly, but I don't want to say it's alien to me, but it's a bit not the big deal, because I think you still pass your exam with the majority of what we have, even more. So this limitation we've been talking about every day. So determine the steps to build a public experience. We've done that. Determine steps to configure the setup and topics. We've done that. Apply ticketing and service cloud capability for experience. I was just showing you what service cloud component you use to put it. That's just what is talking. So, guys, we completed all the whole sectors of this, and based on percentage of questions. So majority of questions would come for this sharing and visibility. That's why I was taking time to explain that, and licensing. So many questions they'll keep asking. Branding, so many questions here. That's how to even pass exam. You just target yourself. Let me know this well. This is 10, 20, almost 40%. Add this one, about 50%. Add this user creation, very simple thing, authentication, 70%. Adoption analytics, which is moderation, dashboard, and insight, is even small. I'm not even counting. Then here, just target all you need here is just like 10 or 15%. 15%, add it to 70, it's not 85. This is, we're talking every day, limitations. There's so many. That's why I kept on pointing them out. So if you can get 5%, this is like almost 80 to 90% you are sure of. You are good to go. So, any question and answers, and I'm sure Portable will get back to me as regards to next tutorial or something. So sorry, I don't want to hold anyone long, but I'm ready for. Okay, Ola, please.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, when you were doing the when you were working just now, you had to switch to classic.
Yeah.
Is it that it's everything can be done in Lightning?
Of course, everything can't be done in Lightning. Some things are done through Classic Q today, and we just witnessed that today. I was trying to activate whatever WDC channel, and I was told to go through Classic. Salesforce is moving, is mostly Lightning, everything is Lightning, but it's not 100%, let me say 98.5. Some companies are even still using Classic. And there's always some bugs in the Lightning that they're still always fixing and everything. So that's the answer.
Sorry, Obi, did you share this? Yeah, thank you. Did you share this PowerPoint?
I'll discuss with what he asked me to forward them to him. So I think he'll decide what to do, but I think you'll get it. The class should get it. Or he said I should forward it to him. So he wants to look at it first and right, then send out.
Thank you.
Any more questions, guys? I think if there will be another class, that will be the exam preparation class. But based on my knowledge, this is the last tutorial class. And I've tried to cover everything. And seriously, but I wasn't impressed with the fact that you guys were not able to answer the first question, the practical question for today, which is actually a very simple question. But I want to believe that maybe you haven't started reading much of the materials, but you need to get up to speed. And I hope I was able to deliver enough of information and knowledge to you guys. But I'm here to support, to advise, to teach, to learn with you, to help out where I can. So you can always reach me, where, from Mentor, from LinkedIn, or my email, anyone you have access to. Feel free to reach out to me. So if there's no question, I won't want to.
Sorry, please. Can you just?
I thought the hand that was raised was the one from before. Okay.
It was from before, but you just mentioned that there's a way we can get in touch with you. Okay. Is it possible? Should you just put a contact? So because I would definitely want to get in touch with you.
DanielCN@gmail.com.
Thank you very much.
Yes, my email address, LinkedIn too. Just Obiora Nwachukwu. I think I'm using Daniel too. Daniel Nwachukwu. No, Daniel Nwachukwu, LinkedIn. So, I guess
thank you.
All right, guys. In the absence of any more questions, good night. See you when I see you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.